Welcome to the farm. We are currently on lockdown in Spain, and today what we are going to be doing is going over double unders. Luckily we have myself, Kristoff, Gabby and Jacqueline, and hopefully together we're going to get you some tips, some pointers that might be able to help you feel more comfortable on the rope, improve your cycle time and just generally get you better. One of the most important things is to understand what we need skipping for in CrossFit. Now in essence we have certain movements. So we have a single under, we have an alternating feet single under, we have a double under, and we also have our triple under. So I'm just going to show you the variants of those. So one of the most basic, especially for CrossFitters learning, is just very simply the single under. And as by the name, the rope passes under the foot once. Our alternating single under, and this is what you'll typically see for most conditioning, boxers, fighters, MMA, will work this alternating style. So one foot goes up, one foot goes down, but the rope still passes just one time. So this is what we call our alternating single under. And now arguably, well not even arguably, the most common type of skipping we see in CrossFit is our double under. And this is where the rope's going to pass twice underneath our foot as we go through. So those are the main types of skipping we'll see. We also have a triple under. I'm going to demo. It's been a while. I'm going to give it a go. Kristoff, do you think I've got this? Jacqueline?
Of course.
Okay.
Did you say triples?
Triple.
No, I don't think you got that.
Oh, cheers. Okay, we ready? Cold, now I'm hot.
That's just one though.
We need an action replay if that went past 3 times. We'll see. So, what we're going to now start to do is look at how we set up our rope and start taking you through some of the steps to help get you better. So the first thing we're going to look at is how long do you want your rope. So you can see here that with the rope I'm currently with, I can't actually adjust it that easily. I would have to get a new cable or different size cable. But if we take a look at Kristoff's rope, all he needs is a little Allen key and it can be easily adjusted. Now in essence, the longer your rope, within reason I would say, the easier or the more room for compensation there is. However, the shorter the rope, the quicker the cycle speed. So with me now on this rope, and this is the rope that I'd usually use, it's a little old, but I like the thicker handle, it just feels more comfortable. So I come up to mid-chest, nipple height basically. And I would say for me this is a nice height. My 1 foot's under comes up to here. I would say it's long enough that it allows me to make certain mistakes, but also short enough that I can get a good speed. Over to my man.
For my jump rope, it's actually the same height.
Whoa. This is just coincidence.
I would prefer my jump rope usually to be a little bit shorter than chest height, so my cycle speed can be a little bit faster.
I believe, was it 2 years ago in the Open when they had 600 double unders? I mean 2 years ago, and obviously 600 repetitions. If you have a quicker cycle speed, it starts to add up. So the length of your rope can make a significant difference, and as a general rule of thumb, you want it long enough that it allows compensation, but short enough that you can still maintain a quick cycle speed. How to hold the jump rope.
So I tend to, while I'm doing double unders, and as I mentioned I have a shorter rope, I tend to, as I get more and more fatigued at the shoulders, raise my hands a little bit to the side. That's why the rope gets shorter and shorter, so I make more mistakes. I just slide my hand a little bit further and further back. The problem with that, you can still do double unders, but you won't be as efficient. So I would say that try to hold on. There are different kind of handles, right? But I would try to hold on to this handle just around midway through, and then hold it there, not squeezing it within the hands, but still having a firm enough grip that you can control the handle.
Yeah, so you can see with this rope, I quite like the thicker rope, the thicker handle, but a lot of people find that it's harder for the grip because you have more to go around. However, if you can stay relaxed, that's helpful. And you can see here that it's already pre-made, so you just have your thumb gently relaxed onto the finger, thumb gently relaxed onto the finger, and this should be your grip. Realistically, it should be nice and loose, because if we start trying to generate tension here, not only it makes it harder to get movement in the rope, it also tires the grip more. So a relaxed grip in the hand. Okay, so you know the length of your rope, you also know how you should be holding the rope. The next thing I'm actually going to recommend, or the stage that I would go through, is I take both handles into one hand, and I would actually start to try and get a rhythm on my right hand, and then through on my left hand. And what you should be able to feel is that you start to get this momentum. It can actually be, some people like you start kind of trying to generate the momentum through the elbow, through the shoulder. But what we want to try and do is feel that we just have this continuous pattern. But then once you feel comfortable like this, I would actually then start to add in my little jump. So obviously now it's quite easy to get the timing without stopping, because the rope's not going to keep tripping. So it allows me to get quite a lot of practice in just having the rope one side or the other side.
I agree with that, but I think oftentimes the mistake that we see is that people tend to jump tucking their knees quite high. So even during that practice, I think it's important to always remind yourself, or even practice with a mirror in your sight, that you're jumping as much with the ankles as possible, rather than bending and tucking the knees up. Especially when you go into double unders and you try to generate height instead of speed. That's one of the main issues, and even with single unders.
And then the next stage that we would then do is literally, you then start to try a few reps now. So once you feel comfortable with the timing, what I would then have you guys do is actually start to try out a few reps. And I just hit one at a time, because really, like as Kristoff was saying, what starts to happen when we get into multiple, we can really start, the arms go wide, we start gripping tight. So until we're comfortable just taking it here, one. Little relax, step through. One. Take it up to 2 to 3, and you might start taking it up to 10 to 20. And then once you get to 10 to 20, I would then say you can then start to move on looking at doubles. Go through a couple of double under drills now. Obviously you can apply what we spoke about through the single unders. So this is just one point of note. As Kristoff was saying, one of the big things that we can start to do is when we start trying to move on to generating double unders, we don't use the same principles as the singles. And it sounds kind of silly, but using these kind of noises. So if you're doing singles, you get shoo, shoo, shoo. When we start to do doubles, you end up getting shoo, 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 shoo. And the same thing with triples. Quadruples, yeah? So I know it's a little funny, but sometimes these little tricks can help. Just almost saying into your mind, it helps you generate the momentum you need. And so when you come here now, obviously this is my single pace. And that will be then my double pace, which I want to try and get down. And really you want to be comfortable in both hands before we move on to these next drills.
Next drill would be without actually a jump rope. It would just be in our regular jump rope setup, feet underneath the hips. We would use the hands as cues as well as the noise that they will make. We're going to keep them on our thighs or on the side of our thighs as we just jump. you could just do single unders. And every time I'm in the air, I'm tapping my thighs just once. The same thing with the double unders. I can start out with a couple of singles, but then I'm going from one tap to two quick taps every time I'm at the top of my jump. So I would go single, single, double. So this way, I can also create that noise that John was just making with his mouth.
Can we hear it? Two of the common faults we see is this trying to generate the movement in the wrong position with the arms. And so actually sometimes what we have done is actually tied a band around the shoulders. In fact, because I know everyone would like to see me tie Kristoff up a little bit.
Oh, me?
So, again, you know, and this can be fun stuff that you try at home or try with your classes, but as you can see, obviously now we're forced into keeping the arms by the side. So now we're going to try and hit some singles or doubles.
Mom, if you see this, I'm in Spain. Come find me. Help me. I don't want to be here.
This is the whole purpose of the video. Jacqueline, you're right there. Yeah.
God, it looks so hot.
What do I look, Jack?
In that jacket.
Oh my god. Yeah, so for people who continuously struggle with the arms coming out and finding the wrong position, it can be a useful drill just to help reinforce the body awareness and not let the arms drift out. One of the next important points, and this is something that even a lot of top level athletes struggle with, is that what you'll find is that when you get tired or when the rope comes forward, each revolution of the rope, the hand comes slightly forward. So then what we need to do is bring it back. So if I'm doing doubles, for example, my hands will come slightly forward, so on that second circle I need to come back. Now this is something very hard to be aware of in the moment, but as you're practicing, especially with this single arm drill, you need to think about trying to keep the hands in line with the body and not let them start to come out too far forward, as obviously this changes the length of rope you have to work with and makes mistakes easier, makes it harder or makes it easier to make those mistakes. If you start holding your breath as you try, you know, it's quite common when we're learning new skills that we don't breathe, we hold our breath. So if I'm here, obviously that makes the work very hard. So there's a good point Jack made. Keep breathing and stay relaxed.
Breath.
So Kristoff, Horvath, is going to be taking us through a warm-up that he often does with his classes. Usually it's in Tabata style, but for you guys we're going to do 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 8 rounds.
The Tabata is basically 8 intervals of 20 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, 3 minutes and 50 seconds, and that's called 4 minutes. In that 8 intervals, we're gonna do a different jump rope variation every time. It's gonna leave us with 7 jump rope variations, and the last one is gonna be a surprise, or basically burpees. The 10 seconds intervals, when you're supposed to rest, it gives you enough time to explain and show as well what the next movement will be, so the class can be prepared. They go through it 20 seconds. Once again, it's over. You explain the next one. They go for 20 seconds until it's over. I ideally just go on Spotify and choose one of the Tabata songs. There are some cool ones, Rocky, Uptown Funk, whatever. It gets the class fired up, creates a good atmosphere, and you also spend 4 minutes with jump rope practice prior to actually starting a workout. So once you get there, you can explain the jump rope skills further and then jump into the class with, if you want to scale the movements or not scale the movements, but they already have a good amount of jump rope in the bag.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So the first interval is gonna be quite simple. We're gonna go for single unders, spinning the rope forward. Music is pumping, the class is pushing, and 3, 2, 1, rest. Now we jump into the next one. The next one is gonna be single unders, spinning the rope,
Whoa.
backwards. 3,
Whoa.
2,
Whoa.
1, and go. And stop. Excellent. So it's also the element of surprise of it doesn't give you much time to think about the movement, so you rather just do it, right? Then we're gonna go into single leg and spinning forward. 3, 2, 1, go. 20 seconds, rest. Excellent. Then we're gonna go into the following. We're gonna go ahead and go for the crisscross. So you jump, crisscross, jump, crisscross. 3, 2, 1, let's see John. Yeah?
How can I do it in doubles? I'm failing badly.
Excellent job. Then we're gonna go into, after this one, we're gonna go ahead and add some double unders. 3, 2, 1, rest. Now we're at 6. We're gonna go for the 7th one. We're gonna give an opportunity to the class to go for triple unders.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
3,
whoa.
2, 1, and go. There you go, and there's the opportunity to get your first triple under. You can also sub this one for double unders backwards. And 3, 2, 1, rest. And on the last one, you drop the surprise. Class, double unders. And on 3, 2, 1, we're gonna go for...
You shouldn't drop your ropes, people. I'm sorry.
Yes, place them gently.
Safely on the floor.
And on 3, 2, 1, you go for burpees. And 3, 2, 1, go! 20 seconds, all out burpees. Boom. And 3, 2, 1, time. So this one can be a good warm-up, but make sure that pre-Tabata warm-up, you warm up the ankles and the calves a little bit just so they're ready for the impact that you caused by the jump rope. Obviously, you can change this format up however you want to. You can take out some, you can add different ones. You can tailor it to your class and to your needs.
Thank you.